Hello to everybody watching. My name is Christopher Burke, and our group is Team 1. We will be looking at cybersecurity recommendations for the aerospace industry. With me is Michael Farmer, Angela Felton, and Alexander Smith.
Internet of Things in the aerospace industry. There are benefits as well as risk. Some of the benefits are enhanced safety and security. IoT applications enable real-time monitoring and the use of data analytics. Enhanced operational efficiency. IoT technologies provide a framework for seamless communications between different systems and streamlining processes. And optimal resource utilization, which all lead to greater operational efficiency. Cost reduction. IoT applications drive predictive maintenance, which improves uptime. Health and performance of aircraft systems can be continuously monitored. Enhanced decision making. IoT enables real-time analysis of operational data, which allows for early decision making and prompt intervention when necessary. Global collaboration connects manufacturers, suppliers, and operators around the world. The risk associated with the use of IoT devices in the aerospace industry. There's an increase in cybersecurity threats. IoT devices and sensors expand the aircraft's threat landscape, thus making it more vulnerable to cyber attacks. Data security and privacy. Massive amounts of data generated by aircraft systems can lead to the compromise of security and privacy. Complexity. Integrating large numbers of aircraft systems, devices, and data streams creates a lot of complexity, which also increases the number of vulnerabilities. Reliability concerns. Many IoT devices are prone to failure or inconsistent behavior. Precision and accuracy are mandatory in the aerospace industry in order to safeguard equipment and people.
The next topic is common threats and vulnerabilities in the aerospace industry. I'll go through a couple threats and a couple vulnerabilities and discuss each one. The first threat I'd like to mention that is common is data exfiltration and espionage. So the theft of engineering data, maintenance logs, or performance parameters. When this information is leaked, it can impact competitiveness and compliance within the industry or company. Next is supply chain compromise. So a cyber threat can introduce backdoors into sensors or gateways, and this can be anything from aircraft to airport control. So it introduces a big safety risk. The third is device takeover. There has been instances where hackers were able to control devices and manipulate those devices within aircraft and manipulate different readings and also pivot into different networks. So this is obviously another big safety risk. Not good. The next is vulnerabilities. One main vulnerability across the industry.
Okay, so when it comes to the aerospace industry, protecting sensitive data and confidential information is critical. Any breach in security could potentially lead to enemy nations learning about the designs for our aircrafts and our engines. So it's a matter of national security within aerospace organizations to protect their data. However, aerospace companies are often very large and employ thousands of people. So constantly monitoring everybody's communications via email or phone or text, and then making sure that they never make a mistake, like clicking on a phishing email or something like that. It's a hard task to always monitor that within the organization. So it's important that you train your workforce to be able to recognize these cybersecurity threats and respond to them appropriately. Aerospace organizations also employ hundreds of different vendors in their supply chain, and these vendors can introduce risks. It's often the case with aerospace companies that they don't make every aspect of the airplane. So they work with another company that makes, let's say, like a bearing. But then the aerospace company needs to make sure that the bearing manufacturer is in compliance with the same rules and regulations that they are being held to. It is no easy task to make sure that every vendor they work with is following the same rules that they're required to listen to. So, despite all these difficulties, there is a framework available for all aerospace companies that will help them reduce these risks. NIST 800-171 is a set of rules that every aerospace company must abide by so that they properly protect their data. Some of these rules include implementing controls on who can access specific information within the organization. Now, as an example, imagine a jet engine manufacturer hires a new engineer. That new engineer will not be able to look at classified blueprints and specifications for, let's say, a new engine or something yet. They only allow authorized users within the organization to see the appropriate information that they're allowed to. So that new hire, he won't be able to see the classified information unless he takes a specific training course, gets the proper approvals from his managers and the higher ups in charge of that project, so that they are limiting the availability of the information within their own company. So that way, that reduces the risk of, say, somebody new who might not know all the cybersecurity rules yet, from accidentally sending confidential information to somebody who might not be allowed to see it. So limiting information within the company to authorized users is a big push from NIST 800-171. So the framework also implements configuration controls and incident response plans in case there was a data leak. So being able to react to a data leak or a hack event, that's just as important as protecting themselves from it initially. The rules set out in NIST 800-171 apply to all government contractors and their supply chain partners. So it is the responsibility of the contractor to ensure that they work with vendors that are able to comply with those rules. That can be difficult for large companies that can't manufacture every aspect of a plane or an engine, but it is their responsibility. So they need to do their due diligence and research their vendors and make sure that they are able to comply. Any aerospace company that is able to follow all of these standards set out in NIST 800-171 can be sure that they are protecting their data properly.
Okay, so now that we've established the program that we're looking at implementing, which is NIST 800-171, let's talk about how much that costs and how we can do it. So the costs are going to be dependent on the existing cybersecurity infrastructure and the organization size that you're looking at, right? So if you're looking at implementing cybersecurity standards at a county regional airport, it's obviously going to be a lot cheaper than it would be to implement cybersecurity standards at maybe an international airport or for a defense contractor. So risk assessment generally ranges from $15,000 to $20,000. Implementation costs, like we already established, it's going to depend on some of the IoT infrastructure that's in place, but it's estimated to generally be between $35,000 and $115,000 for this industry. And long-term monitoring, so after the initial implementation, how much does it cost to maintain the system? Generally, it's calculated to be about $6,500 to $13,000 annually. Okay, so when you're implementing cybersecurity frameworks, it's a very tedious process. So there's many resources that are needed for compliance, and they're going to be, subjectively dependent upon what the company has already put in place. So it's a very time-consuming process, and it's very challenging to track. So our team proposes a product such as Sprinto. It's an excellent tool for keeping track of the implementation that has been done to work toward the NIST 800-171 cybersecurity framework, meeting that standard. So they have automated reporting that provides instructions and helps your organization achieve compliance. Thank you to everybody that watched our presentation. Here's our contact information if anybody needs to get a hold of us related to the project. And on this page, everybody can see the references that we used for the presentation. Thank you all very much and have a good day. Bye.